I convey my respectful pranams to revered Chairman Maharaj of this session, Swami Bimalatmanandaji Maharaj, and revered elders, and convey my respectful namaskar to the brother monks, speakers on the dais, devotees, and representatives from different member ashramas of the Ramakrishna-Vivekananda Bhava Prachar Parishad, who include the monks, nuns, and lay devotees. The topic for discussion is 125 years of the Ramakrishna Mission, a journey together in Seva and Bhava Prachar. As a part of this topic, I have been asked to speak on the subject, reflection on the 10-point guidelines of Bhava Prachar Parishads. What is meant by Bhava Prachara? At the outset, I would like to present before you the words of revered Swami Ranganathanandaji Maharaj, the 13th President Maharaj of our order, from his speech of the 1998 All India Conference of the Parishads, where he defined very clearly the meaning of Bhava Prachara. He said, quote, "The divine power that manifested on earth as Sri Ramakrishna, Holy Mother and Swamiji is working for the welfare of humanity in manifold ways. These holy personalities have a universal dimension which cannot be confined within the limits of any particular institution. Their love and message are meant for all humanity without any distinction of race, religion, caste, or gender. It is the attempt to spread their universal message for the welfare of all that is meant by the term Bhava Prachara," unquote. 10-point guidelines. These guidelines are framed by the members of the Board of Trustees of Ramakrishna Math Belur in the form of a resolution in their meeting held on 8 July 1985. These guidelines contain the basic structure of the Parishads and the member ashramas associated with those. While going to clarify the relation between the Parishad and the member ashramas, in the model constitution of the Parishads, it has been mentioned that, quote, "The Parishads will guide the member ashramas to implement the 10-point guidelines issued by the trustees of the Ramakrishna Math Belur, and to this end in view, the Parishad will have to observe in a general way the activities of the member ashramas," unquote. There are 10 rules which are to be followed by the institutions which have been called the private centers in those rules to become a member of the Ramakrishna-Vivekananda Bhava Prachar Parishad. Broadly divided, said rules may be placed in the following categories. Ideal. The private centers, quote, "must follow the spiritual and ethical ideals and principles of the Ramakrishna Math and Ramakrishna Mission and conduct their activities along the lines of the Ramakrishna Math and Ramakrishna Mission," unquote. Second, registration status of private centers. The private centers are to be either registered as a religious trust or a society registered under the Societies Registration Act. 3. Not to keep any association with what or whom? That is the question. 3 categories have been indicated in the rules about it. First, politics or political parties. This has been very clearly mentioned that the private center should have no connection whatsoever with politics or political parties. This is a very important point. groups and organizations, this is second, that are not approved by the Ramakrishna Math and Ramakrishna Mission. Third, Swami or Brahmachari. About this, I quote the exact language from the 10-point guidelines. No Swami or Brahmachari who has left the Ramakrishna order for whatsoever reason, within bracket, except purely medical, bracket closed, should be allowed to stay in or be associated with the private center, unquote. Maintenance of records. It is mentioned that the private centers will have to maintain proper records and books of its finance and accounts, which should be audited annually by qualified chartered accountants. Second, it may also be noted here that proper records should be maintained in respect of its landed properties, land tax or khajna paid to the government, municipal or panchayat rates and taxes paid, bills for the use of telephone, water, electricity, vehicles, etc., proceedings of the meetings, etc. Then, propagation of the lives and teachings of Sri Ramakrishna, Holy Mother Sri Sarada Devi and Swami Vivekananda. This is to be accomplished by holding classes on their lives and teachings and scriptures, through sale of Ramakrishna Sarada Vivekananda literatures, by setting up libraries, by celebrating birthdays or tithis of Sri Ramakrishna, Holy Mother Sri Sarada Devi and Swami Vivekananda, including the National Youth Day, by organizing regularly the study circles for the youth, separately for boys and girls, arranging competitions in essay writing, recitation, music, elocution, etc. on special occasions. Then, conducting service or welfare or seva activities. Some such activities must be conducted by the private centers. The activities shall include social, curative, and or preventive medical services among the poor of the immediate neighborhood, welfare work among the rural Harijans, Girijans, and other backward communities, relief services to people suffering from calamities. Necessary guidance may be had from the Ramakrishna Math and Ramakrishna Mission. In the last part of the guidelines, a detailed guidance including the activities to be included has been given for holding the annual celebration of all the member ashramas or the private centers of the Parishad. Besides, by way of the additional guidelines of the Parishads, approved by the Board of Trustees of Ramakrishna Math on 14 July 2015, more details about arranging Parishad conferences have been circulated among the member ashramas. The committee members of the Parishad ashramas should carefully go through these guidelines for conducting their activities successfully. These documents are already there with the management of all the private centers. This is a kind of recapitulation of all the ideas detailed therein. Hope this will be useful for all. I conclude my presentation with my respectful pranams and namaskar.